So we are Team Bellagio Falls. We're in order as we appear there: Teddy, Hannah, Maddie, and Adam. We started out by brainstorming, and we met in Metcalf, and we met in the Metcalf Commons room. And we started by finding a way to communicate outside of the Commons room, and we started with Facebook, and we found that we could all talk over Facebook to create meetings. And then we created a blueprint, which we have there on the left, and it was the design that we wanted to create for the fountain, and all the measurements, and the pump and how it would work. And the design cycle, our goal was to create an aesthetically pleasing fountain. One of the objectives that we had to have was it had to actuate sound by water dripping. So our design incorporated that by sending water up the sides, and then it would drip down the middle. I mentioned earlier that we began by finding means of communication, which we used via Facebook. We also, while in our first design cycle, we created a schedule with milestone deadlines, and we mostly kept to the deadlines, which we'll later discuss. We would have liked to have kept to them tighter, because we ended up running short on time towards the end. And the design idea originally incorporated shooting water with like a catching mechanism, but we realized after a while that the pump did not work as we thought it would, and it was harder to adjust the pressure. So we ended up changing the design up and had it more send up the sides and drip down. And we used wood and bamboo for a more natural look. And we realized that the bamboo was easily accessible material, so we ended up using that for the bulk of the project.
Gather materials from the back of a fraternity house. We cut down our own bamboo, and we gathered materials from Lowe's Home Improvement. Some design challenges were constructing our box. We ended up using nails instead of glue. We realized the water pressure was not cooperating, so we had to redesign the fountain after that. We made adjustments until our fountain worked. Leakage was a problem, so we had to find resources to make our fountain work without leaking. We arrived at the engineering fair and the box was still leaking, so we had to use resources in order to make that work. We constructed our box at the craft center. We originally used glue for our sides, but that ended up not working. So we used nails, and we constructed our box with nails. We spray painted our box in the free expression tunnel, and we ended up using bamboo siding to make our box look better. We transported our box, and we finished making our box in the craft center. And this is us constructing our box using really cool lights, and that is us looking at the lights.
Here we are testing our pump. We used a pump which could range from 50 gallons per hour to 80 gallons. Here we are changing our design when we realized the pump didn't work how we expected it to work. This is our final product. Why not? Some things we would do differently. Mainly, we would spend more time on waterproofing and try not to be too simple, because we found our project, we lost points because it was too simple. Our bamboo also dried out quickly, and we had issues with our schedule because of people getting sick and because of conflicts with other activities.
Yeah. So what we learned from this experience is how to manage our time better and work with a group and dealing with the scheduling and logistic issues of each individual person in that group. And we found that the craft center was a useful place to work in. Some advice we would give to next year's incoming freshmen would be to focus on the design early and be ready to redesign, because you will encounter problems, including leaking and other issues along those lines. and also to focus on NCSU resources. And who's got it better than us?
Nobody!